Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody back, or as we were saying in the office this morning, Happy New Year. But I'd like us to get started. You may remember last year we tried something new and we streamed the Welcoming Day message across the district. This year, we're going to share a shout out to each of our elementary schools, starting off with Fairmount, High Fairmount, Hillers, Jackson, and Parker, and a special hello to ECDC staff as well. But we are getting ready to get started so that we don't stand in the way between you and lunch today. Promise we won't do that. So, on that note, but sincerely, a very warm welcome back. Hope everybody's had a great summer, and we're all back re-energized for the start of a great school year. And I'll start off with an introduction. Just ask you, my colleagues, our team at the Padavano Center to stand, beginning with our Assistant Superintendent, Andrea Parchment. A familiar face to some of you, Dr. Amatuzzi. Dr. Amatuzzi's back. Thank you, Dr. Amatuzzi. Our Assistant Business Administrator, Lydia Singh. Our Director of Curriculum, Dr. Lauren Kasmark. And where you find Lauren, usually you'll find our Curriculum Specialist, Madeline Carino. Our Systems Information Coordinator, Maggie Fisher, otherwise known as the Genesis Guru, and our Technology Coordinator for the district, Mr. Adrian Sapero. And before I hand this off to Ms. Parchment, I'd like to also shout out to our custodians and our administrative assistants across the district. While you were having a nice vacation at home, they were here day in and day out working hard to prepare us for the beginning of the school year. If you've taken a little tour of the high school, you might have noticed a new field, a new turf athletic field out there that we're really proud of, some roofing work, a lot which has already been done, but some roofing work still being completed as we speak. We actually have sidewalks going down today, new sidewalks at 360 Union Street for the middle school. And without the support of our custodians, our maintenance team, the administrative assistants at the Padavano Center and across the district, as well as Maschio's Food Service. Without Piper, this would not have been possible today. So please just extend a warm applause to them in appreciation for all their hard work throughout the year, but especially during this summer. And I'd like to now pass off to Ms. Parchment, and I also am grateful for your support in central office, Andrea.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, ECDC, Fairmount, Hillers, Jackson, Parker, middle school, high school, and central office. They're even watching today. Today, I just want to share the expectations for this school year by asking you to join me in walking into the new school year with hope, enthusiasm, and resilience when needed. Join me in believing and knowing that you are the most equipped and talented staff to prepare each and every child for prosperity by learning well so that they can have options in the future. Each and every child should be able to come back and say to you something like this: "It was because of you that I decided to go to college, that you prepared me for elementary school, middle school, high school, and the best universities in this nation. It was because of you that I learned about coping, that I am going to be a teacher because you had great lessons that made me want to learn, that you gave me special assistance in class to help me learn like all the other kids in my class, that you cared so much about me that you pushed me to do better, that you helped me learn to deal with conflict, that you comforted me when I came to the main office by giving me a smile and a word of encouragement, that you released the grant funds to make that field trip happen. It exposed me to the possibilities and gave me hope. That I used my skills in your elective to start my own business. When I came to the nurse's office, you did more than check my temperature. You knew it was not just a headache, but a heartache. When you were mopping the floors, you stopped to help me open my locker when it was jammed, and this relieved all my anxiousness on the first day. You disciplined me, but I learned from it, and it made all the difference by getting me on the right track. I saw myself in you and got inspired as a young man. Another student might say, I made a mistake, and I was reprimanded, and then I did something else, and I suffered the consequences again. And then I blew it again. But you did not label me. You believed that I could get right back up and start again. And look at me now, they may say. So today, I too am glad that teachers, adults, and other people of authority who I respect to this day gave me another chance to get it right. So when this generation of students enter your doors tomorrow, remind them that every day is another day to do their best, to get it right, to start all over, to fall and get up, to do better than the day before, to reach and exceed the goals that you set for them, to be in the top 20 of their class, to go to college, to own a business, to speak with confidence, to take a risk, to beat the odds, and to show the world that they are highly capable because of all of you, the great staff of Hackensack Public Schools, giving them that foundation to succeed. Today, it really is a new day for all of us. So let's move forward together so that our students will live prosperous lives. Let's not get distracted and remember why we're here. We're here to make sure that students learn well. And this is the expectation for 2018, 2019, and beyond. So I wish all of you an abundance of blessings, hope, resilience, and love. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Let's do this. And I'm pleased to introduce and welcome back Dr. Amatuzzi. Welcome. We're happy to have you here. Thank you.
It's been a long road back. I retired 12 years ago, and I'm back to help right the ship a bit. Got a call from Rosemary, and I said, it's for Hackensack. When I got here in 1994, with Joe Montesano. Actually, Anthony Marseglia hired me, but I worked with Joe that next July. And I realized what I was getting into in terms of the Hackensack family. And I hope over the last 12 years you haven't lost any of that family feeling, because that's what made me love this place and why I would want to come back for a few days and help you get through some things. I actually student taught here in 1970, which I'm not giving away my age, but I was in the social studies department at the time, and Carl Padovano was principal, and Bloom was the ICE system principal, and there were new, young administrators on their way up. So I just want to lend my hand to you, and the time I'll be here, a short contract. Hopefully find you a good BA that'll stick for a bit, and we'll move on from there. Good luck in the new school year.
Thank you, Dr. Matisse. Is not on? There we go. So, once again, a thank you to everybody. And in thinking about preparing ourselves to be more resilient and to support our children for jobs that have not been defined yet and that are being created in front of us each and every day, thought it'd be great to start with some reflection on things that went on here last year, and again, looking back to get a sense of what's to come and how we move forward. And there's a reference there to last year, the +2. Let's see if anybody remembers Rita Pearson later on. But our goals last year focused on curriculum review, refinement, personalized learning and blended learning, strengthening parent and community partnerships, augmenting our district facilities to meet the instructional challenges faced by students and staff, especially given our future-ready needs, and to recruit, hire, and retain a diverse faculty that would demonstrate culturally responsive outreach to all our children. And so let's think about what happened. Over the 17-18 school year, we had over 1,000 hours logged of curriculum writing. And so a special thank you to all our teachers who put themselves out there and participated and worked really hard to ensure that our curriculum is updated, and we just in August approved all the new revised curriculum. Could not have happened without the support of you as teachers, and we really appreciate it. But I'm really grateful to the curriculum office for all their work in ensuring that our curriculum updates are ready for the new school year. Future ready, blended learning and personalized learning. We have 4 submitted future ready applications. And oh, Adrian, do you think we could play one of those videos? It's on. Can you just click that for me? Maybe start with Hillers. Just to give you a glimpse of, you know what's going on here at the high school, so we'll give you a glimpse of one of our elementary schools. The should be down below. Yeah, there it is. And a shout out to Hillers School and their great Future Ready submission. Oh, we'll start with Nellie Kay.
Creating and cultivating future-ready learners and leaders. We are the school.
The volume. Oh. Technical glitch. We'll get the audio going. Not on?
Parker, we're tomorrow in sight. And Nellie K. Parker, we're committed to creating and cultivating future-ready learners and leaders. We are the school with tomorrow in sight, and we're co-creating that future with all the stakeholders in our
It's buffering. Leave it. That's okay. I don't know if it's the wrong.
Are we prepared?
Technology is an essential ingredient of a student's education in 2017 and will be an indispensable tool for the 21st century student. As technology continues to improve and change, we need to teach our students to be dynamic, quick to adapt to the changes. Students need to be given opportunities to evolve with the speed in which technology is evolving. As teachers, we can do this by giving them opportunities to create, apply, and explore using technology. Our students have dabbled with code, taken assessments online, surfed the internet, communicated with emails, responded to class discussions, created presentations using slides, audio, videos, etc. Tools like Google Classroom, Google Apps have become integral parts of our classrooms.
Being online allows me to check my assignments, projects, and homework. I can communicate with my teachers, ask questions to my classmates, and get instant feedback about my grades. My mom loves checking my work every day from home. I can even get online help when I need it.
In many cases, students are given the freedom to explore a problem with or without a set of instructions. They are given the opportunity to learn how to problem solve through their mistakes and analyze possible solutions. Students must come out of school with a love of learning. STEM projects foster that love of learning. It gives children a sense of curiosity and inquisitiveness that leads them into exploring and learning. STEM is motivating, engaging, real-world inspired. Knowledge is taught the way it is used in the real world. It is creative and adaptable. With these skills, students will be equipped to tackle the challenges of their future.
Technology at Hillers has become an ongoing investment that has grown over the past several years. Here at Hillers, teachers and students are using technology to personalize learning. Students can learn at their own pace, on their own level of difficulty, and stay engaged while learning content. They become more creative and more connected.
I am the future. I am the future. I am the future. We are prepared. Are you?
So a special thank you to Mrs. Whiting and to the Future Ready Committee at Hillers School. Thank you. But 4 applications were submitted, and we have 2 others planned for submission this year. So we're really proud of the work that Mr. Sapero has done with the Future Ready teams, and really grateful to Mr. Montesano, Middle School, Hillers, and Parker School. So thank you. Beyond Future Ready, we kept hearing their real world and real world inspired. Students at the middle school participated in coding. There was outreach to community partnerships. Google came into several of our schools last year. There was support with our own schools in outreaching to the community with drives, food drives and gift drives. And our special services team had a group of students participate in a prom, all driven by community partnerships, which really do provide for real-world access and really enrich our students' learning opportunities. And again, support authentic learning. Just 2 weeks ago, we graduated our students from the Summer Police Academy here. Could not happen without the amazing work that Lieutenant Capadonna does with her team, including Detective Dominguez, who I saw around here earlier today. But it's about us coming together, growing beyond our walls and our fields, and extending outreach into the community, and that was one of the goals last year. Another goal in extending mindfulness and health and well-being, we kept saying last year, we can't support students unless we support our staff. It is about building relationships with our students. We also say that kids don't care how much we know until they know we care. We care about our students and we care about our faculty, and we will continue mindfulness work this year to support that. And we actually did a Mindfulness Institute, both Tara Jakubik and Victoria Arvizu. Thank you to you, a special thank you for running the Institute. And we had teachers from across the district, teachers, media center specialists, nurses, staff from across the district participate on their own time, and we're really grateful because it does impact children. And on the right you see a bunch of our Girl Scouts at Fairmount School. We had our football players engaging in some yoga and mindfulness, and a lot of fun with this last year, and we expect to continue it this year. Our administrators gathered together. I'm not sure we called it mindfulness that week, but I think it was definitely some team building, and that was our retreat, July 2018, and we know that when we work together, we always achieve more. So some highlights from that. In terms of facilities and facilities work, last year, many of you participated in our outreach meetings to share your opinions, your recommendations, and feedback regarding how we're going to address the space issues we have across the district and how we would provide for a new school. You know that in the last 9 years, our enrollment has grown over 900 students. And so where do we put these additional students while providing for more future-ready learning experiences and environments in our schools that would provide for that? So beyond the staff meetings and parent meetings, we engaged, the board engaged in a massive community outreach effort, and those outreach efforts included plans for this summer 2018, and specific capital projects, including our football field, which was scheduled to be done after graduation. It started right after graduation, and it just got completed, Mr. Montesano, was that last week, I'd say, just about, roughly last week. The roofing projects at HMS and here at the high school, mostly finished, some final work still being done. The picture down at the bottom is of the new fence on our middle school field. And the picture in the middle is the bridge between 5-6 side and the 7-8 side at the middle school, also done just this summer. The Bloom Bridge, repointing of bricks, all completed. And the Bloom Bridge is just about finished. You saw that there is a new face. The under part of the bridge is scheduled to be finished very, very soon. In terms of continued facilities work, what's on the radar? Well, a lot is going on right now. Continued outreach is scheduled to start with back to school nights the week of September 24th. And we have an advisory group formed as a result of the survey that was posted online in the spring through June. And we're looking forward to our first advisory group meeting on September 13th. That will take place here at the high school in the media center. Renovations and alteration plans have been submitted to the state of New Jersey, as well as the new construction for the new school. Plans were submitted between the end of July and early August. And we are on schedule right now to go to referendum vote January 22, 2019. Your continued input is really needed, and you'll be hearing more about outreach meetings here at the high school on the plans. A side note, the plans are just right now conceptual plans. They don't include specificity with, we saw something in June that had this big atrium. Those are just conceptual plans. The plans submitted to the state are required to have specific square footage details but no specific plans, and that's where your continued input is going to be so valuable to us. So we welcome that, and we look forward to those conversations. So, as Ms. Parchment put it so eloquently, the work we do is about children. As a teacher, as a media center specialist, as an administrator, the most important work on our plates is that of service to children. And our goal here in the district is to continue to put students first. And we put students at the top of our priority list together with our faculty. We know that by supporting you, we will support our students. So our mission will be posted, this will be online, but it's about students building capacity and nurturing our little ones through adulthood so they are prepared not just for the next grade level, but that we prepare them for life, college and beyond. So more specificity in terms of priorities for 18-19. The goals across the district will continue to focus on addressing school-based priority needs. Dr. Kasmark and her team work very closely with each school's administration to submit school-wide plans. What we used to call Title I, now ESSA, is no longer a district plan. We changed that 2 years ago. They are school-based plans to ensure that school-based needs are the priority and that those priorities are defined by the stakeholders at the school level. Addressing our facilities needs will continue to be a goal, obviously. Personalized and blended learning will stay on there. Supporting students' social emotional learning needs and parent outreach. This year, we're very grateful to the Board of Education who supported a social emotional plan that will include, it includes 3 additional social workers and 1 guidance counselor serving at the elementary level. 3 of our elementary schools will have 1 social worker each, and 1 of our elementary schools will have a guidance counselor to support social emotional learning standards as defined by NJDOE, and we'll be working very closely to create a plan to provide for greater outreach to children who really need the extra support of a social worker or counselor. We understand the value and the need to teach academics, but we also understand that some of our children are coming to us having experienced trauma and some very difficult situations in their lives. Without us addressing those social emotional needs first, the most beautiful curriculum, most beautiful resources, and all your efforts will not be enough until we address those underlying issues and really provide for those needs. Some of the very most basic needs for these children, and we're hoping to do that working together with the team. In addition to that team, the Board of Ed also supported us with a plan to engage Care Plus Services, and Care Plus Services has 2 clinicians assigned to our district. 1 will be shared amongst 4 elementary schools, and the other will be at the middle school. And then we're looking to see what happens. This is year 1. We call it, think of scaffolding, so this is year 1. We'll look forward to next year and then moving it into the high school to support additional drop-in services that are already offered here at the high school. Something we're really, really proud of, just 3 years ago, our state aid to preschool was about $450,000, just about. Today, our state aid, as of last week, we were notified that our pre-K expansion grant was approved for 2018-19, and our preschool education aid now totals over $2.2 million. So yes, there's a lot to celebrate in that, and I'd like to recognize just making you stand up, no words here. I'd like to recognize Dr. Kasmark and Madeline Carino. Without their hard work, those grants would not have been submitted. So thank you. But we're really proud of the fact that not only have we increased our pre-K enrollment, we've substantially increased the full-day pre-K offerings, and we are working very closely with the city currently because we need 2 additional classrooms given that additional aid last week, and we project those classrooms to go into 39 Broadway, the old Hackensack Cultural Arts Center. So we're really excited and grateful to Mayor LaBrosse, as well as Deputy Mayor Canestrino, who've been working with us, as well as the city manager, Ted Ehrenberg. It takes a village, and it takes a lot of outreach, and it's in working together through collaboration with the city that we even thought of being able to submit the additional pre-K expansion grant, because we just simply don't have the space in-house. Other professional development goals: cultural proficiency, understanding diversity and cultural heritage, and the impact of our understanding of that heritage and our children's diverse needs, and how that impacts our teaching. And again, health and wellness, mindfulness, and sensitivity training. Our presenter tomorrow is Dr. Samuel Betances, who will be sharing a lot about understanding cultural diversity and building our cultural proficiency. So we look forward to that. So going back to the reflection slide earlier, there was a +2. Does anyone remember Rita Pearson? Oh, Adrian. And NJDOE allows us to submit what we call process goals, where you're not expected to complete one specific goal in just 1 year's time, but to continue it. Thinking of that, I thought it'd be important to revisit Rita Pearson's message and what it means, reminding us of what it means to be a champion for kids.
I have spent my entire life either at the schoolhouse, on the way to the schoolhouse, or talking about what happens in the schoolhouse. Both my parents were educators. My maternal grandparents were educators. And for the past 40 years, I've done the same thing. And so needless to say, over those years, I've had a chance to look at education reform from a lot of perspectives. Some of those reforms have been good, some of them have been not so good. And we know why kids drop out. We know why kids don't learn. It's either poverty, low attendance, negative peer influences. We know why. But one of the things that we never discuss, or we rarely discuss, is the value and importance of human connection. Relationships. James Comer says that no significant learning can occur without a significant relationship. George Washington Carver says all learning is understanding relationships. Everyone in this room has been affected by a teacher or an adult. For years, I have watched people teach. I have looked at the best and I've looked at some of the worst. A colleague said to me one time, they don't pay me to like the kids. They pay me to teach a lesson. The kids should learn it. I should teach it, they should learn it, case closed. Well, I said to her, you know, kids don't learn from people they don't like. She said, that's just a bunch of hooey. And I said to her, well, your year is gonna be long and arduous, dear. Needless to say, it was. Some people think that you can either have it in you to build a relationship or you don't. I think Stephen Covey had the right idea. He said you ought to just throw in a few simple things, like seeking first to understand as opposed to being understood. Simple things like apologizing. You ever thought about that? Tell a kid you're sorry, they're in shock. I taught a lesson once on ratios. I'm not real good with math, but I was working on it. And I got back and looked at that teacher edition. I taught the whole lesson wrong. So I came back to class the next day and I said, look, guys, I need to apologize. I taught the whole lesson wrong. I'm so sorry. They said, that's okay, Miss Pearson. You were so excited. We just let you go. I have had classes that were so low, so academically deficient that I cried. I wondered, how am I going to take this group in 9 months from where they are to where they need to be? And it was difficult. It was awfully hard. How do I raise the self-esteem of a child and his academic achievement at the same time? One year I came up with a bright idea. I told all my students, you were chosen to be in my class because I am the best teacher and you are the best students. They put us all together so we could show everybody else how to do it. One of the students said, really? I said, really? We have to show the other classes how to do it. So when we walk down the hall, people will notice us. So you can't make noise. You just have to strut. And I gave him a saying to say, I am somebody. I was somebody when I came. I'll be a better somebody when I leave. I am powerful and I am strong. I deserve the education that I get here. I have things to do, people to impress, and places to go. And they said, yeah. You say it long enough, it starts to be a part of you. And so I gave a quiz, 20 questions. Student missed 18. I put a +2 on this paper and a big smiley face. He said, Miss Pearson, is this an F? I said, yes. He said, then why'd you put a smiley face? I said, because you on the roll. You got 2 right, you didn't miss them all. I said, and when we review this, won't you do better? He said, yes, ma'am, I can do better. You see, -18 sucks all the life out of you. +2 said, I ain't all bad. For years, I watched my mother take the time at recess to review, go on home visits in the afternoon, buy combs and brushes and peanut butter and crackers to put in her desk drawer for kids that needed to eat, and a washcloth and some soap for the kids who didn't smell so good. See, it's hard to teach kids who stink. And kids can be cruel. And so she kept those things in her desk, and years later, after she retired, I watched some of those same kids come through and say to her, you know, Miss Walker, you made a difference in my life. You made it work for me. You made me feel like I was somebody when I knew at the bottom I wasn't. And I want you to just see what I've become. And when my mama died 2 years ago at 92, there were so many former students at her funeral. It brought tears to my eyes, not because she was gone, but because she left a legacy of relationships that could never disappear. Can we stand to have more relationships? Absolutely. Will you like all your children? Of course not. And you know your toughest kids are never absent. Never. You won't like them all, and the tough ones show up for a reason. It's the connection, it's the relationships. And while you won't like them all, the key is they can never, ever know it. So teachers become great actors and great actresses, and we come to work when we don't feel like it, and we listen to policy that doesn't make sense, and we teach anyway. We teach anyway because that's what we do. Teaching and learning should bring joy. How powerful would our world be if we had kids who were not afraid to take...
And so the question is, how can we build more relationships and better relationships with our students? And there's a question I like to ask when I come into a classroom, and I had the privilege of meeting probably the largest group and most diverse group of new teachers this year than we've ever had since I've been in central office. And many a time in those interview conversations, I shared, there's one thing that I'd like to leave you with. And that's when we walk around our schools and we come into classrooms, there's really one criteria, and it's very simple. It's a simple question. Is what's going on in this school, is what's going on in this classroom good enough for my own son or my own daughter. You can't make it more personal than your child. For those of us who are parents, I know I'm connecting on that level. And why not want for the children before us what we want for our own children? I shared with you last year that I really struggled, not so much when my son went to school, but when Sarah went away. She's only in DC. I won't tell you how fast I can get to DC when I really need to. I was tempted to drive there last year after our opening day. There was one night. There was no answering her phone. There was no texting. And her roommate didn't answer her text. So, you know, mom obsesses, mom worries. Dad's snoring away, he could care less. And I'm thinking it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I did call the hall security. They went upstairs, they knocked on her door. Sarah, you better call your mother because otherwise she's going to be driving to DC tonight. And she called and her phone had died and she had a bunch of great excuses. But that's what happens when you care. You worry. I would drive down to DC if I needed to that night. I would have been calling Andrea, 6 o'clock in the morning, not coming in today, because this is that important. So if our children at home are that important, how can we better relate to the children before us? Simply asking, is this the kind of relationship I would want a teacher to have with my own son or daughter? And a little update, Sarah made it back from going away on exchange, and this year my big worry is she is not on campus. She's a senior. I know, I can't believe she's a senior. And she has her own apartment. There's no dorm security. There's no main office. And so what did mom do? I have the landlord's cell number on my phone on speed dial. I know who the tenants are upstairs and downstairs, and I have them on my phone. I made sure to bring them some pastries and some ice cream when we were there a few weeks back. And we also visited them in June, and know them all, and they know me. And when they see that 201 number, they know it's Worrywart Rosemary worrying about Sarah. But on a serious note, that's what you do when you care. And I had to plug in that little NBA symbol. That's for my son. He's not forgotten, but yes, mom worries about the baby. And Timothy is starting his second contract with the NBA right in Secaucus. He was a communications major, made it through with a lot of help from amazing professors and a lot of support. Several times I scheduled appointments with our pastor to get him to pay attention because he wasn't always listening to mom and dad. But he's starting his second contract. It's just a foot in the door, but it was his dream job. And he got that, I'm told, because he did an internship at ESPN in Connecticut. And by the way, that internship was only possible because of professors, amazing teachers who took an interest in him. And so the question is, if it's not good enough for my own son or daughter, how do we address that? And what can we do to support you in better addressing the needs of our students? And I'll finish off. It doesn't always want to connect, I'm sorry. It's not, you might, okay. And the reminder up there, and I know I saw this at the middle school on one of the bulletin boards. There are only 2 lasting bequests we can hope to leave our children. One is roots and the other is wings. And so I invite you to join us in helping our Hackensack Public School students grow deeper roots so that they can grow stronger wings. And I ask you that to consider how we, Hackensack Comets, are a place where students are the priority and teachers, all teachers, are champions for kids. On that note, I wish you all a very successful school year filled with wonderful outreach to students, building bridges and building those connections so we can really champion our students. Thank you, everybody. Have a great year. But before, that's on my message here. We're not going anywhere just yet. Before we go, I have the distinct honor now of bringing forth our HEA president, Ms. Donna West.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I promise not to be before you long. I do hope that each and every one of you has had a wonderful summer, and you are now ready to begin another school year with another chance to make a difference in the lives of our students. We've been challenged and inspired by videos and the words from Mrs. Marks, Mrs. Parchment, and Dr. Amatuzzi. I wish to share a message with each of you as well, and I promise not to be before you long. I begin this message by reading these thought-inspiring words by Earl Ream. Some of you may have heard it already, so please bear with me. I wish you could know how it feels to run with all your heart and lose horribly. I wish that you could achieve some great good for mankind, but have nobody know about it except for you. I wish you could find something so worthwhile that you deem it worthy of investing your life within it. I hope you become frustrated and challenged enough to begin to push back the very barriers of your own personal limitations. I hope you make a huge mistake and get caught red-handed and are big enough to say those magic words, "I was wrong." I hope you give so much of yourself that some days you wonder if it's worth all the effort. I wish for you a magnificent obsession that will give you reason for living and purpose and direction and life. I wish you the worst kind of everything you do, because that makes you fight to achieve beyond what you normally would. I wish you the experience of leadership. And while I stand here and speak to you as the president of our association, I am not the only leader. Each of you, as people who work with, inspire, encourage, and support our students, are all leaders. We're leaders because we're role models. We're leaders because we seek to change lives. We're also leaders because we make a difference by the work we do. And while every moment as a leader won't be easy, they will be worth it. In the long run, or even as we take the time to look back over this past year, we see that we are who we are today because of the obstacles we've overcome, the challenges we've faced, and the difficult times that showed us what we were really made of. As each of you prepares yourself for a new school year, know that you do not face it alone. You will hear more about what your union will be doing to support you very soon, but please know that now, even as much as your union needs you, you also need your union. And Tom Pacone, who's in the back, he promised me he'd stand up. There he is, okay? I think I can share this part, Tom, right? We thought that when June ended, we had this misconception that we could take a little bit of break from union business. Yeah, no. And now we're ready. So Tom, Sonia Ricarte, Jessica, Luciano, and I, we promise to be there for you. I now leave you with this quote: "Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." Thank you for being trailblazers. Thank you for being agents of change. Thank you for being leaders. We look forward to seeing you at today's luncheon. I do know that there were some hiccups with that first email, but Ms. Ayana Cohn sent a second one, so please open that one if you haven't done so. It's at the Hilton Hasbrook Heights from 12:30 to 2:30. We do ask if you please, possible carpool. Please remember to bring your district ID. And if you park in the back, That will be the quickest way to get in because the luncheon is on the lower level. Have a wonderful school year, and remember, we are stronger together. Thank you so much.